Hello everyone, welcome to web development course. So in this part I will explain looping statements in JavaScript. So looping statements in JavaScript I will explain. So let me comment this line. So first of all I will explain while loop. So syntax of while loop is while and a condition, and here you will write the statements. So this is the syntax. So this is the syntax. So let me comment it. Okay, so I will explain now the while loop. So for example, let me declare a variable. So let I equals to 1, and while I less than 10, what I will print, I will console dot log, I will print the value of I, and then I will increment I. It's very simple basic loop. So initially I is 1, and now while the value of I is less than 10, I am printing the value of I on the console. Right click and open with live server. So when you open with live server, so go to the inspect, and let me show you the console. So let me refresh it, and you can see the values in the console. You can see the values. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, you can see these values in the console. So here it is. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And what if I change this loop, I less than 6, and save it, and then go to the browser and refresh it, and you can see the values in the console 1 2 3 4 5. So very simple loop. So in while loop, first of all condition is checked, and if the condition is true, then the body of the loop will be executed. Now I will let me comment it, and now I will explain a do while loop. So in the do while loop, it's basically in the do while loop you will write the statements first, and then condition will be checked. So then condition will be checked. So it is the syntax of the do while loop. So first of all statements will be executed, then the condition will be checked. So let me explain this. So let I equals to 1, and do. So what I will do, I will print the value of I. So console dot log, I will print I, and I will increment, let me increment the I by 2, and here I will write the condition. So while I less than equals to, let's say 14, and then I will type the semicolon. So this is the do while loop, very simple. Let me save it and go to the browser and refresh it, and you can see the values. So 1 3 5 7 9 11 13, because you are incrementing the value of I by 2, and I is initially 1. So first of all body will be executed, 1 will be printed, I is 3, and then the condition will be checked, and based upon this condition, again condition is true, so this part will be executed again. It's very simple code. So this is a do while code. So let me explain that. Let me comment it. So let me comment this code, and now I will explain how you can initialize the values of array based upon the condition. For example, let me create my array. So suppose this is my array, and initially it is empty, and let I equals to, let's say 2, and in the do part, in the do body, I will use array dot push. I will push the value of I in the array, and I will increment I by 2, and I will repeat this code. So unless I is less than let's say 20. Okay, fine. And I will now what I will do, I will print the array on the console. So console.log, I will print my array and then press semicolon. Let me save this code and go to the browser and refresh it, and you can see the array is printed on the console. You can see the value 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. 20 is not printed because when the value of I is 20, the loop will not be executed. So as you can see, so this is a do while loop, and I am initializing the value of an array based upon the condition. So pretty simple. So let me again comment it. Now I will explain the for loop. So for loop is again very simple. So let me write the syntax first. So syntax of the for loop, syntax of for loop is very simple. So here you will write for initialization, and then you will then semicolon, then condition, and then increment or decrement. So this is basically the syntax, and in the curly braces you write the statements. So this is generally the syntax of the for loop. So I will comment it because this is a wrong syntax. Now I will explain for loop. So for very simple, for let I equals to let's say 2 and I less than let's say 20, I plus plus, and what I will do, I will simply print the value of I on the screen. So again very simple, go to the browser and refresh it, and you can see the values 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these values are being printed on the screen. And if I increment instead of, if I write like this I plus 6, what will be the output? If I refresh it, you can see the value output is 2, 8, 14. Very simple. I is 2, 2 is printed, then I will become 2 plus 6, 8. Condition is true, 8 will be printed. Then I will become 14. Condition is true, 14 will be printed, and then I will become 20, and 20 is less than 20. Condition is false, and you will get out of the loop. Very simple. You can use the break statements in the for loop as well. So let me, here I will write let's say I plus plus, and what I will print the value of I on the console, and I will use break, and whenever value of I will become 5, what I will do, I will break from the loop. So see this code, I is 2 will be printed, and this part will not be executed. Then I will become 3 will be printed, then 4 will be printed, and then 5 will be printed, and when value of I will be 5 and this condition will be true and break, then you will exit from the loop. So let me refresh it, let me go to the browser, and you can see the value is 2, 3, 4, 5. So very simple for loop. Okay, now I will explain how you can print the value of array using a for loop. So now print value of array using for loop. So I will print the value of array using simple for loop, then I will print the value of array using for of loop. So first of all, print the value of array using for loop. So for that, let me declare an array. So let's say the value of array is 10, 20, 30. So these three are the values of array. These four are the values of the array. So what I will do, I will write the for loop. So for let I equals to 0 and I less than array dot length and I plus plus and in the console.log I will print the value of array index. So very simple. So simple code it is. The array is having 4 values, and I is 0 and I0 is less than the array dot length. Array length is 4, so array 0 will be printed, then array 1 will be printed. So very simple code. So go to the browser, refresh it, and you can see the values of array are printed on the console. Very simple. Okay, so similarly you can also use a for off loop. So now I will explain a for off loop. So for off loop is very simple again. So for off loop is works best with the array. So this loop works best with an array. So with an array. So suppose you have an array. Let's say you have an array of students. Very simple. So students, and there are some values in the array. For example, students names are there, and let's say Pankaj, Sunny, Manish. So suppose these are some values of the array. And now I will explain for off loop. So very simple. For let I of array name is students, and you will print console.log, you will print I. Very simple. So it will print all the values in this array. The value of array are Pankaj, Sunny, Manish. These are student names. And for let I of students, so it's very simple. Now the see array has values. So first of all Pankaj value will move to the I, then I will be printed, means the name of the student will be printed, Pankaj will be printed, then this value will be printed, then this value will be printed. So it's very simple to use for off loop. So this is for off loop, and it's work best with an array. So it's very simple to use. Let me show you the output. So go to the browser, and you can see the values on the console. So array values you can see on the console. So this for off loop works best with the array, and it's very simple to use. Next I will explain for in loop. So let me comment it. So now I will use a for in loop, and for in loop works best with objects. So suppose you have an object in the JavaScript. If you are not comfortable with the array and objects in the JavaScript, I will cover these topics in the coming lectures. So for now I am explaining only the looping statements. So for example, suppose you have an object. Suppose you have an object, and there are some fields in the object. So suppose name is let's say Pankaj, and class is let's say MCA. I am creating a simple object, and city is let's say Chandigarh, and this is the object, and I want to use for in loop with this object. So how I will use, it's very simple. So so this is an object, and how I will use, very simple. For let variable name in object name, and here I will print console.log, and here I will print k, and then I will print student k. Very simple. It means so for this object, these are the properties. So property name is a name, and the value is Pankaj, class is the MC, and city is the Chandigarh. And here what I will get as an output. So let me first of all let me show you the output. Go to the browser, and you can see the name, class, and city, and you can also write like this is here. You can also write like this. So here you will, for in the K you will get the properties. So properties are name, class and city. And in the student K, so this K student, it means when the value of K is name, you will get the student name. When the value of K is class, you will get the student class. And when the value of K is city, you will get the student city. So you can write like this. It's very simple to write for in loop. Go to the browser and refresh it, and you can print the values accordingly. You can print the values of an object with the alpha for in loop. So it works best with the object. And I have explained for of loop, for in loop, break statement. I have explained all the basic concepts of looping statements that you will use in the coming lectures. So I hope I have explained each and everything regarding loops. Still you have any query, you have any doubt, you can ask me. Have a nice day. Thank you.